Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, have you heard of Virtual PBX?
No, what is that, like virtual peanut butter and jelly?
Virtual PBX provides affordable business phone plans for entrepreneurs that need a way to connect to their customers. Never give out a personal number again. They offer business telephone numbers, call forwarding, professional greetings, and so much more.
Isn't that the phone you have in your office?
That's correct. I have a Virtual PBX Yalink, the T21P E2, but it is the same phone that you will see on the NBC show The Office. So when you see Dwight and Jim slamming down the phone, I have that same exact phone.
Nice. Do you have a stapler and Jell-O?
It's the most important aspect of an office, making sure you have a good telephone.
Yeah, and I think you can save 15% off when you sign up, right?
That's correct. If you go to virtualpbx.com/podcast, again, that's /podcast, you can save up to 15% and you can enjoy their new Flex plans starting as low as $13 per month.
Well, that sounds awesome.
Yes. Are you looking to start a new business or have to have professional greetings, call forwarding, texting, voicemail, virtual receptionist? If you're looking for any of those items, don't go anyplace else but Virtual PBX.
That sounds cool. I kind of want a sandwich right now.
Mike wants a sandwich, and you deserve a better IP phone solution. Visit Virtual PBX. Visit them at virtualpbx.com/podcast.
Coming to you from the shores of the Pacific Northwest. Keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side. With leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go,
TechTime Plus.
TechTime Plus, technology news of the week. I'm your host, Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here and David Brown in the studios. We are the show for the everyday common person with insightful segments and subjects that will be trending the mainstream media in the weeks to come.
Hey, you got that one pretty good.
I got that pretty good.
See, all you have to do is slow down.
You just got to slow down. All right, so I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show. It airs from 4 to 6 p.m. on Saturday. If you were watching the show on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday or Saturday at a different time than this, guess what? You're watching a rebroadcast. So to stay up on all the latest information, if you go to techtimeradio.com, then you'll have all that information available for you.
I'm glad you explained that to me.
Well, I just want to make sure. In case you're watching today, Saturday from 2 o'clock, it's not quite 4 o'clock yet. So live show, we're glad to be here. On today's show, our second hour, we have letters, the segment, reading this week's email scams and funny phishing attempts. We'll be talking about cybersecurity insurance for small businesses a bit, and specifically for homeowners. We have Dan Weeding, the host of the podcast Unleash and podcast Shrimp Tank. I've been on both of those. Great guy. He's going to come on in here, and he's going to be talking specifically about insurance, how you can protect yourself, because it's actually now moved into the private sector. At first, you used to think, I only need it for my business, right? Well, no. And we'll kind of go through a whole scenario and see what happens and what you're going to need to take care of that. And we have an expose on Elon Musk. We're going to be talking about him. He's on Saturday Night Live tonight.
He's going to be hosting tonight.
He's hosting tonight, Saturday Night Live. So if you're catching this ahead of time right now, live, and you go and you take a look at it, guess what? You're going to be able to see and have some information. If not, and you watched him and you wanted some more background information of what he's doing, it's been a big controversy. He is not a star. So there are people that are coming out of the woodwork saying, why is Elon Musk on Saturday Night Live? We want an actor. We want somebody else. You know what?
Why is the sky blue?
You know what? I'll say this. Elon Musk is a hero. He employs almost 500,000 people directly and indirectly with all of his initiatives that he does.
Uh-huh.
So he helps provide jobs for people. You know what?
That's your take on it?
That's my take on it.
You think you think that's him doing that, or? Well,
his businesses do. So I consider that a hero enough to be on Saturday Night Live. So now he's with Miley Cyrus. So what a train wreck. So he's got Miley Cyrus doing music tonight. So who knows? I mean, it could really go off the wall. So I'm pretty excited about watching that tonight. I'm gonna make sure I got my DVR. All right. Now, if you'd like to be a part of our show, you can always reach us on Twitter, and if you go to hashtag TechTime Radio, put a tweet out there, we will read it on the air as it's going on, and we'll also comment on that. If you are watching our live stream at TechTimeRadio.com. You click on that big stream button in the middle of the screen. You can watch us live, or you can always go to Twitch TV, twitch.tv/TechTime Radio and watch us there also.
Mm-hmm.
And YouTube and Facebook and everywhere else in between. If there's a social media site. But not Pinterest. No, we're not Pinterest. But we do have an Instagram site, so you can see pictures that we post here.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so as we start each of our second-hour shows, we're going to start off with our conversation cards presented to us by the Love Shack on KKNW. So we're going to open this up. We got Mike.
Our bromance cards?
Yeah, so this is all right. We got Mike on the deal. We got David on the deal. And here's the question to start the show. What do you believe to be the greatest invention of all time? You're up first, Mike.
Oh, gosh.
Greatest invention of all time.
The greatest invention of all time.
Yes. Okay, I think it's something.
I'm trying.
Okay, I'll start it off.
What do you think is the greatest invention?
Indoor plumbing. Plumbing. The idea of having plumbing so I can have a shower, so I can have the ability.
That's a good one. I wasn't even thinking about. I was thinking about technology in the modern age.
Okay,
and
well,
you are talking about stuff that's
plumbing's
been around
pretty cool,
forever,
right? Plumbing's pretty cool. If you didn't have plumbing, I wouldn't be able to take a shower.
You know, I used to
work as a plumber.
No, I come from very rural places, so okay. I've actually been in houses that had an outhouse.
An outhouse.
Yeah, that did not have indoor plumbing.
Oh no! Oh wow! Really?
Yeah. So I'm going to steal yours.
So that explains a lot about us. Okay, all right, David, going to you.
All right, I'm going to stick with the theme of our show, and I'm just going to say it because I'll hold it right here.
I like that.
Cell phone.
Oh, a cell phone.
I mean, you can contact anybody anywhere. Back in the days, like when I was a kid, you know.
You had to memorize phone numbers.
I had to memorize phone numbers and call on the old rotary dial.
Yep.
And even the push buttons. Remember having to call somewhere. It's like, yeah, I'm at so-and-so's house, Mom. I'm fine. Thank you.
But you know what's horrible about cell phones, though? I don't know anybody's phone number anymore. I just got a picture. If I don't have the picture, is that normal?
That's normal. That we've taken away that need. So, and see, that's the problem with this kind of stuff is that we advance this technology.
Yeah.
And people understand the technology only in that context.
Yeah, but that's
why we have people who don't know where.
Do you realize your cell phone has more technology than the very first rocket that went to the moon?
Yeah, absolutely.
The first manned mission.
You know that they still use that same technology today.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's more reliable.
There's some of the old technology does work really well.
I'm going to say I think the greatest invention is video games. So.
Video games?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there you go. That
was
really
such a big part of my childhood.
Sea of Thieves. That must be the greatest invention of all time.
How about the Atari?
The Atari 2600? Oh,
yeah.
man.
That was
it. The red button up at the top there.
Joystick, red button, and the paddle for the driving games.
Did you ever play the baseball game where if you hit the home run right up the middle, you had to hit it right down the middle? It was Atari's baseball game.
Oh, yeah,
I remember 3 guys
that.
in the outfield or 3 guys in the field, and essentially, if you hit the ball straight down the middle, it was a home run.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I remember playing that. All right. Okay, well.
Are we done with that question?
Yes, we are. Now let's get our episode going here. So we are going to be starting out with our new segment, specifically talking about scams, phishing emails, and the mistruths of illegitimate email.
All right.
Letters, we get letters. We get back and back of letters. We get letters. And the letters all have
Do you know how tough that was to find that on the internet? That took some while to do that.
Yeah, well, that's fun.
All right, here we go.
That was the greatest invention of all time right there.
What's that, YouTube?
Letters.
Or letters?
Yeah.
Oh, you remember Johnny Carson used to do letters on
he did that.
Karnak.
He did the great Karnak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, him and Ed McMahon. Hilarious. All right. So here's an email to Nathan Mumm at... I couldn't say it. All right, here we go. Response. My family and I have decided to donate 1 million USD to you with no links or anything to click on.
That's awesome.
Just sent it to me.
They just sent you an email.
Yeah, Leanna West at nemr.net. I guess if you want to say that you're Nathan Mumm, then you can get yourself $1 million.
Did you answer them back?
I did not answer them back. No, I did not. All right, here we go.
What do you think they're looking for there? What do you think they're
looking for me to respond?
You think that's an active email fish?
Yep. So so the idea of this is if I respond to it, they will then know
that email
is valid.
Right. We talked about that last week.
Yep. So this is just a searching email. Number 2, now this is a little bit. You have received a fax document from pdf.sm.doc.delivery. When you actually look at the email, it's red5000 at ozoneassociates.com, but it says searchable document, 5 pages, PDF. View the document. Now, when you click on this document, and they included a bunch of different stuff about bonus miles and a bunch of other stuff that I could do here from the American Express National Bank in Atlanta, Georgia, which doesn't exist. But essentially, they're hoping that I click on this link because what it does is it downloads a PDF file to my machine. First, the PDF is secure and there's no problems with it. But if I open up the PDF,
that's what
there's a link in there that automatically loads a virus specifically onto my machine. It'll load in the background, so I won't even know that it's taken care of, and then it will alert this user that I have essentially been compromised, and they can continue to load software on my machine itself. So don't listen to the bank. Bad bank.
Yeah. So this is a PDF scam.
PDF scam. PDF that gets sent to you from a faxed. It's a fax document, but it's a PDF. It says that it has SharePoint Online in there, so it's got a bunch of different ideas. SharePoint doesn't send you faxes.
The point here is that we need to pay attention to what we're getting.
Yes.
And where we're getting it from.
Yep.
And just not automatically click on this, because we all think PDF is a safe format to use, right?
It's not. So a PDF is a nice compressed format, but not safe completely to be used. You're correct. All right, 2 more here, and we'll get Coinbase. Now, we talk about Coinbase as our deal. So I had a Coinbase email, just so happened to pop up in my deal. Not from Coinbase at all. It essentially says, unusual activity detected. Now, take a look at this. This is... Why would you think that that
looks like a dot matrix printer?
Yeah, why would you think that that's a legitimate? There's no way that would be a legitimate, and hopefully the camera can take a look at that, a legitimate email to begin with, because there's bad fonts and everything, but essentially there's a verify my account. So I clicked on the verify my account.
I would totally fall for that one.
So I clicked on it. Guess what happens when it opens the verify account? Doesn't even take me to Coinbase. If you're going to do the work to have a spam go out there,
you need to have a clone.
At least look at the blue color that's available there. It goes to a brown site, and it says username and it says password. Yeah. So it's not even Coinbase, nothing affiliated with Coinbase. A brown page, completely different.
But still, here's the site. Here's some psychology about it.
Yeah,
people may not understand that.
Yep,
especially if they're not as
technical.
So they think they're going to the site just because they're told to. We have this problem with where we believe stuff that's online, that we automatically take it.
I would hope if I was smart enough to create an account on Coinbase to trade crypto, that I wouldn't.
I would hope so, but obviously the thing is that the fact that this exists,
this works because somebody has to have done it.
Somebody has done it.
All right, last email that we have here on our letter segment, we have from KW902@gmail on behalf of Alice G98776C @gmail.
All right, Alice.
Month of May proposal update. Check out and become interested was the title. I'm excited to find this. Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. Hello, my investment proposal offer to you. Now, you is spelled you, just not Y-O-U.
It's a text speak, huh?
All right. I am writing this proposal to seek your partnership assistance this day. I've decided to write you this email to seek your personal assistance after a search that I made, and I is lowercase. I inherited a sum of 800 million euros left behind by my late husband, which he planned to invest.
$1 million dude.
Well, so my late husband, which he planned, so the name looks like a male name, but that's okay. Late husband, which planned to invest before he died. Meanwhile, I am ready to offer you 20% of the total fund if you're willing to assist me in this transaction. Respond back urgency.
This sounds like
please.
A variation of the Prince one.
So this is a variation of the Prince one because I haven't gotten any of those Prince ones for a while. So this is a variation.
Everybody's figured that one out.
Yeah, they figured that one out. So this essentially what they wanted me to do is respond. And then as soon as I respond, they would have called me or they would have reached out to me to try to say, hey, you know what? We need to do some transfer here. I want to send it all to you, but I need to make sure that I have some money to do that because I just have $800 million. I don't have enough money to transfer that fund to you, so I need your help to send that.
I need your help, yeah.
That's right. All right.
So that's another one of those verification emails, right? That's a verify this is an active email, and then we'll try to scam you later. That's right. All right.
Don't get me started about my email. I hate my email.
That's right. Okay, we're gonna head out to a break here for our first commercial break. When we come on back, we're going to be talking about cybersecurity insurance and what you should do as a homeowner. We have Dan Wheating joining us as a special guest to talk about this. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Day here, David Brown behind the board. Thank you for listening to TechTime Radio.
Hey, honey, did you hear what I heard?
What's up, babe?
I heard Mike over there at TechTime Radio. He's like battling he's in the like that the swimming with the sharks in that singles arena, if you will. You know?
Oh, bless his heart. And I also heard, like you did, that maybe things aren't going so great. You know what he needs, babe?
I think he needs to spend a little time in Love Shack.
Yeah, Love Shack. The Love Shack that airs every Thursday at 1 p.m. PST on KKNW 1150.
Come on, Mike. Come on over and join us. We got you.
Upper Left Corner is a PNW true crime podcast now streaming on all major podcast platforms. If you get excited when your favorite true crime podcast tells a story about a place that you've been to or the town that you live in, then Upper Left Corner podcast is for you. Each week, I tell you a story of a crime that has taken place in the PNW and give you background about the town the crime occurred in. If you like true crime, check out Upper Left Corner podcast, now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and more.
Ace Hardware is a helpful place with prompt, friendly service, knowledge, and the little things that make a big difference.
Service.
Selection.
Advice.
Community involvement.
Competitive prices.
Convenience.
Located near you.
And the things you need, such as
house keys,
lawn and garden,
plumbing,
electrical,
hardware,
grills,
outdoor living supplies,
and even nuts and bolts.
When you visit Ace Hardware, you'll be greeted at the door and given the help you need.
So come visit us at Ace Hardware in Evergreen Way in Everett, Lake Stevens, and now Stanley.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's a perfect music to come back to after sipping some whiskey for the first hour and second show. That's right. All right. Welcome back to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. I'm your host of the show.
Boy, that was fun.
That was a little
positive. Worked for you, didn't it?
That's right. All right. If you would like to join us right now, we ask you to jump on the phone at 425-373-5527 or 1-888-298-KKNW, because if you have a question for Dan Wheating regarding some cybersecurity insurance, this would be a great time to pop on and ask them. But at this time, we are going to start our next segment.
This is a segment we call Ask the Experts.
All right, we have Dan Wheating joining the show. Dan is an experienced entrepreneur, author, and award-winning international speaker. Has passion for consulting, developing, and guiding entrepreneurs and business professionals. He has helped drive growth, performance, and resilience, as well as 300 small and mid-sized companies across the country with all type of industry information. Dan is also a commercial insurance broker affiliated with First Underwriters Insurance. That's why he's on the show. Dan consults and buys insurance for his clients, including cyber liability. He has authored 3 LinkedIn learning courses on risk management, insurance, and business continuity plans. His schedule is packed. He is a graduate from the University of Washington. He was inducted into the $1 Million Consultant Hall of Fame. And he's a buddy of mine that we do a lot of business together. And he's a part of our Provisor Seattle One group. So that's like this the knick-knack high-end consultant / attorney / more attorney / more attorney / more attorney.
And then you?
And then they got the tech guy. So actually they got we have 2 tech guys. So we got Jake Bernstein. He's this tech guy, and he does some legal aspects, and they got myself. So we actually have some pretty good tech guys in this group, but yeah, we just listen to essentially lawyers just talk all day long about their stuff. So.
Okay.
All right. Well,
fun.
So I'm glad he can join us. He's not a lawyer, so that's fantastic. Dan, welcome to the show.
I am not. Yes, I was going to say I am not a lawyer.
That's right. So that's why he's on our show. We haven't had any lawyers.
We're not having a lawyer.
We haven't had any lawyers.
I'm not a cat.
That's right. Okay. Thank you, David. All right. Well, Dan, welcome to the show. So we got lots to talk about, and so I appreciate you joining. Now, you are a host of. I'll just make these plugs right now. He's the Shrimp Tank, which is a podcast that he does. And then he's also Unplugged, right? So
Unleashed.
Unleashed the podcast.
Unleashed the podcast.
That's right. So tell us a little bit about that before we get started with all of our other grillions of questions.
Well, before I get to that, I do have to bring something up, guys, because I checked out last week's show, and I saw that your guest brought Johnny Walker Blue with him.
He did.
Yeah. And so I said, oh, this is how we're rolling. So I brought with me my own whiskey.
Okay, and what is that?
This is one of my podcast sponsors, Scratch Distillery out of Edmonds. This is Edmonds' finest Scratch Distillery whiskey. It is fantastic. So I thought, I just wanted to be one of the guys.
There you go.
I just want to make sure. And then I saw your bottle there, and so I thought, well, I came to the right place.
That's right.
You totally did.
So now we need to get that down, David. Scratch Whiskey Distillery.
Scratch Distillery in Edmonds.
We'll call them up and ask them if they can, if they want to put one of their bottles on the show.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be. All right. Okay, great.
So thank you for that. I do have two podcasts. You're right, and Nathan, you've been on both of them.
I have.
The first one is a Shrimp Tank podcast. It's a nationally syndicated podcast. We're in about a dozen cities. I have the Seattle podcast, and we interview CEOs, entrepreneurs, business owners about their business and everything about them. And then Unleash the podcast, I tend to interview experts. I did have Nathan on, which I thought was a smart move by me. But I have some experts on who help those business people around issues like tech. So those are the two podcasts that I have.
So you see, I don't really talk about tech as much on this show because I'm the host. So I bring in people to talk about it. Because whenever Nick,
we all know you're pretty savvy.
I'm pretty savvy. I'm okay. Yes, I'll say that I can hold my own.
I'll plug you
against most.
That's a heck of a testimony. I'm okay. I like that. You might want to run with it.
I'm okay. All right. So let's talk about this. I'm going to set the stage. So here's what we got going on. You sit down for your morning coffee, right? You open up your personal laptop.
That's my favorite time of the day.
I did it this morning too. A little story coffee.
That's my first. I think that's probably pretty generic.
All right. So now I open up my personal laptop, and there's a file on there that's in one of my files that looks like it's locked. I click on the message in my inbox. All of a sudden, it says my files are encrypted on my personal computer, and if I want to unlock them, I have to pay $10,000 in Bitcoin within 24 hours, or if I don't, the payment will go up to $50,000. Now, on my laptop, my personal laptop, I have my personal taxes. Mm-hmm. I have some photos of loved ones that are original digital posts that I have not uploaded to the cloud. Mm-hmm. I got a big presentation for one of the clients next week.
Okay.
What do? It's not a work laptop, right? So I can't just go and say, hey, work, what happened to this?
No longer available on the cloud because you did all your backing up?
Well, so I'm in good shape because I back up all my data to OneDrive, and we've talked about that on our previous deal. So do you now, too. So you got all your data backed up.
You know what I do?
What's that?
F you. I'm going to throw my computer out.
Yeah, so you get all upset. But now let's talk about cyber extortion specifically at your personal computer, because this is not a business computer, and you have the decision. One, are you going to pay the fine? Or you're not going to pay the fine.
Is this something that I need to worry about as a person?
Absolutely.
A personal user of a computer?
Absolutely. You know what? 2 years ago, I'd say no. Now, specifically with the COVID-19 situation where everybody's worked from home, how many people have their personal laptop opening up business email? How many people have a personal laptop and a work laptop? So this is a huge market.
So they're taking advantage of the COVID situation.
It's called, on the dark web, it's called a quick hit and run. So there's actually a term for this.
Nice.
Specifically for consumers. And what they do is they ask for lower values. So the $10,000 is probably a pretty high value. Most of the time they ask for about $2,500 to $5,000, and they want you to pay quickly so that you can get things taken care of, up and running again, and then you're done. So it's a quick hit and run. You try to get money real quick. You try to run from it. It's not normally that sophisticated. So sometimes you could actually take your computer to an expert, and they could probably decrypt some of the items, but you don't know what's happening. So we asked our expert here, Dan, to join us. Dan, tell us a little bit about your insurance company, and I have a bunch of questions that will specifically address what we need to do for our personal PCs.
So, and I want to answer that case study too. So I do work for First Underwriters Insurance. I'm based out of Paulsbo, although I can work with anybody in this state and many other states. And one of the areas that I focus on is cyber insurance for businesses. Now, I know we're going to talk a lot about personal uses, but in your example that you just gave, I think I heard you say, well, this is a personal insurance, this is a personal computer, so I can't go to my either my employer or my business insurance. I hear you say that?
Yep, that's correct. That's exactly what our scenario is.
I'm going to push back with BYOD, and that's not bring your own drink.
Oh, okay.
BYOD, darn. BYOD is bring your own device. So when you mention, hey, my proposal coming up next week or my sales presentation, that's gone too. Well, this really became an issue during the pandemic in 2020. And BYOD, bring your own device, is a coverage. It's not automatic, but it is a coverage on business policies for cyber. So that says that if I'm the boss and I sent you two guys, my employees, to go work from home, and by the way, that happened quite a bit.
Yep.
And your work, I'm not going to pay to outfit your home. I say, Mike, Nathan, please use your own computers. We'll pay you. We'll do whatever. We'll get you set up. My cyber policy needs to have an endorsement on there. If it's not built in already, some are, but some need to be endorsed, called bring your own device. And that says, whomever in my employ using their own personal device, there's coverage available. Now, I'm going to be very strict on this. There's coverage for the employer. There's not coverage for the employee. And we'll get to that with cyber insurance for personal in just a second.
Okay.
But the reason that's important is that there could be liability. We think about first party. I'm going to talk about first and third party. I'm not an attorney, but I am an insurance broker. First party is your stuff. Third party is somebody else's, where you have liability, where maybe somebody else's personal identifiable information, maybe a client, maybe an employee got compromised. But that bring your own device will cover the third party liability. So that part of it's there. Now, the bigger issue that you are entirely correct on is the first party, my pictures.
Yep.
The things that I didn't upload, my financial piece, the finance. What about that? What about all my banking information? That is a problem. And when you're talking about personal insurance for cyber, I got to tell you, it's in its infancy right now. It's not anywhere near where business is, and it's a problem that needs to be addressed and is being addressed with some companies, but certainly has a ways to go.
So Forbes did an article in March specifically on homeowners and what they should have and what they shouldn't have as a part of their homeowner policies. And so it gets very mucky because some of the homeowner policies would include this as extortion and different areas that you can include in a policy. But a lot of them now are specifically admitting anything that would have to do with your own personal insurance. So let me ask you a question, Dan. What is your opinion on homeowners having cyber insurance specifically for themselves, not just for their business, but specifically for themselves?
Well, my opinion is they need to have it, but here's the problem. You guys probably watch television, sports on television like I do.
Yep.
During a normal 4-hour telecast of an NFL game, how many insurance commercials have you seen?
Well, you see a Geico. Yeah, you see a Geico one that
you
pops
see a Geico,
up.
You see Progressive, you see State Farm.
Yep.
You see all, and you see
you got Jake from State Farm, right?
Right.
Flo.
So you see all of those.
Yep.
How many of them are talking about cyber policies for your homeowner's insurance?
None. Zero.
Yeah, the next one I see will be the first.
Correct.
Which tells you that the average insurance provider for homeowners insurance doesn't have it available. The Forbes article is excellent. They talked about Chubb, right? And we know Chubb in the business market does it, and we know Chubb in the personal market does it. They talked about AIG. They talked about Pure. There are a number of other companies, but that's kind of a short list. The thing that is consistent with the companies I just named, do you know who they want to insure? They want to insure the high net worth individual. Those policies usually have or require a dwelling of 1.5 million at the bottom level and up. So I heard you talking about the rate. This is for the common person, right?
Yep.
Most people are not going to fall in that range, and so they don't even have the opportunity to get it.
All right. So how does, let's go to question number 2. How does personal, so let's say we could get it, how does personal cyber insurance work compared to a business version of the process of this? So how would it work? So if I get compromised, what would I do? Can you kind of go through that process of what I would do with this insurance?
Yeah, obviously it starts with a call to the insurance company. And really, Nathan, to answer your question, it should work very similarly to how a business policy would work. What the insurance companies all are having on the business side, and I see this in transition as they go personal, is they're going to have a cyber coach. They're going to have a 24/7 hotline that you call. They immediately, hey, we need $10,000. That's your first call. It's not your insurance broker. It's not even the bank. It's your cyber coach at the insurance company. Hopefully you have that 800 number handy. So you make the call in, and then they should be able to walk you through the process of what you do next. Now, you might be saying, well, what coverages do you have? Well, you're going to have coverages on things like your financial information, because you're concerned that if somebody get hacked into that, they may be able to get your usernames and passwords to your banks or credit unions or investments, whatever that is. So you have concern over that. There is also a concern about reputation, reputation damage. Regardless of whether you're a business owner or not, you may have a personal reputation that's at stake. You have concern from a third-party perspective of what happens now. Are all my friends going to be now hit? Am I responsible for that? And there's another one that has become an important personal insurance concern with cyber, and that's cyberbullying. I mean, let's face it. My kids are now adults, but I remember when they were in high school, and it was actually pre a lot of Facebook stuff. Cyberbullying has become a huge deal in junior highs and maybe even younger. What happens on that? The other area that you're seeing cyberbullying, believe it or not, is with adults and coworkers. So those are areas that a cyber policy should deal with. Some of them, like I said, they're in their infancy and they're kind of growing this. But those are areas that an individual would have concerns about and would want a policy to be able to not only pay in the event that they've had a financial loss, but really, guys, more importantly, deal with the actual thing as it's happening. Deal with the crisis that's happening. What do I do now? Not going to pay the ransom, but what is it that I do next? And that's where the business cyber policies are leading. When you're going to see, I think what you're going to see is the personal policies taking a very similar tact.
All right, so this subject's worth exploring because I got a question that I want to ask, but we are up on a commercial break. So, Dan, can you hang on through a commercial break, and we'll come back into this for our next segment. And here's what I want you to think about. Does this coverage that I can get as personal, does it cover my household? And what about my son that's in college? If he's at remote, is it able to get it for myself? Is it for the whole family? If he's at college and compromised, is there an assurance that can take care of that, or does he have to be in my house? And with that, we're going to go to a commercial break. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got TechTime Radio, and we'll be right back with our guest, Dan Whedon.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. Story Coffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at storycoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at storycoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hi, this is Lisa Downs, host of Reigniting You, a new show here on KKNW that explores a variety of topics and timely issues for making mid to late career transitions. I'll be here every Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock bringing you guest interviews, career transition advice, and great stories to guide you to what's next in your career and life. Gain a renewed sense of purpose for your next phase with a positive, forward-looking approach. Get ready to be re-energized, recharged, and reignited Wednesdays at 3 o'clock.
Hello, Seattle. How would you like to have immediate and easy access to your live EKG and heart rate data? Your data right at your fingertips and with no need to hook up wires and leads or be strapped to a machine at the doctor's office. The new Pulse device from Vivome continuously tracks your EKG and displays this data on your mobile phone. Have you ever wondered how your EKG and heart rate behaves when you're exercising at the gym, navigating the stressful demands of the workday, or just getting the kids ready for school or relaxing at home? The Pulse is a different kind of wearable, and you can experience this difference by going to www.vivome.com and ordering your device today.
Welcome back to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. We're excited to have our guest Dan Whedon on the show. And on the last segment, we were talking about cyber insurance, and I asked him a question specifically that we were going to come back to. So, Dan, thank you for joining us very much from First Underwriters. That's correct?
That is correct.
All right.
So, do you think, I have a question.
All right, Mike.
Do you think that the more people that start getting these policies actually will encourage more of this illegal behavior, or is it the other way around?
So interesting that you ask that, because
that's a good question.
That's what was being asked about 3 years ago with business insurance cyber policies. Because at the time, there was well less than 50% of small businesses were even buying cyber. And one of the questions was, well, if I buy it, am I going to be a target? Well, you know, the reality is as you've mentioned in your shows, and I hear from tech experts all over the place, this is happening. This is happening, and I don't believe that the criminals care whether there's insurance or not. So the reality is that I believe that both on a personal and a business standpoint, this is the most important insurance you can have. It really is, because it has a higher likelihood of happening than, say, a fire. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody buys fire insurance, right? Well, the statistics show you're only about a 15 to 17% chance of having a fire in your lifetime.
Right.
What are the chances on having a cyber attack, or maybe a cyber criminal just kind of hanging out behind the proverbial rock inside here, waiting for something good to happen? So I don't think that the criminals care about the insurance part of it. I think they're going to do what they do, and it becomes important for all of us to not only do a great job on the hygiene side of it, so that we're not clicking on those links that I heard earlier on your mail segment, but you got to have insurance as well, because some of that will get through no matter how good you are.
All right, so let me ask that question about, so I have a son at college, right?
Yeah.
And I get a personal liability, and so maybe for the common everyday person, maybe not all the policies are available now, but I do know that the Chubb one, I don't think there's a limitation of your house property value. I don't know. I didn't do 100% of research in that, but I am a big Chubb believer. I like a lot of their policies that they do. Would it cover me if I had a policy like this for my son at college?
Sure. So it's going to actually go to the definition of who is an insured in your policy. Okay. And the definition of insured is all household members. And that includes children who are still considered to be dependent on you, even if they are away at college. And in some cases, even after they may come back, there's not necessarily an age issue. Is if they're living, is if they're, you have a 32-year-old living at home, they're part of the household. They're a family member. They're related and they're part of the family. So the answer to your question is, if you have a son or daughter away at college and they have their laptop and you're paying for school, you're paying for the laptop, they're dependent on you. Okay. You have them on your taxes, all of that. They're considered an insured, and in so doing so, you have coverage for anything that your homeowner's policy is going to pay for, including the cyber.
All right. Shoo. All right.
You sweating there?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I would hate to have that be an issue there. All right. So
can I add one quick thing?
Sure.
Okay. So it's really important. I mean, the questions you ask are really good. Is there coverage? Here's the big deal for anybody listening to this. Every policy, especially cyber, they're not homogenous. They're all going to be different. And it's easy to say, well, there's coverage here, there's coverage not. I can easily tell you the definition of insured. But it becomes really important to ask your broker specific questions like you're asking me that relate to that policy. One day, I believe all these policies will be much more in line, and you're going to see, just like you see today in all the other coverages, you're going to see some similarities. That's not the case today.
Standardization, is that what you're talking about?
Right.
Yeah.
You'll see, insurance is great at standardizing once they've figured it out. It took 3 to 4 years on the business. That's about where we are. And I've seen a lot of research saying that you're looking at about 2025 before the insurance companies kind of have an idea of what the heck's going on and how they're going to do this on the personal side.
So if I wanted to get cyber insurance right now for my personal side, who would be an expert to contact? So if I wanted to do that, would that be yourself? Would that be somebody else? Who would I go to find out more information, specifically personally, about getting some cyber liability insurance?
Well, yeah, I'd love for people to contact me. That would be great because I am an insurance broker. But contact your insurance agent or insurance broker, whether they are a direct writer like for State Farm, Farmers, Allstate. I don't know them as well as I do the independent side. Ask them specifically, is there any coverage outside of some built-in identity theft, which is more ubiquitous? A lot of policies have that. Do I have anything? And be real specific for ransomware. Do I have any coverage for my liability, and do I have any coverage for damage to my hardware, to my machine, to loss of anything? Do I have that currently? And if you don't, then ask your agent, especially if they're an independent agent, do you have any companies that do? Might be willing to pay more on the auto part of it if I can get this, right? I might be willing to pay more in other areas. Who do you have in your office that offers it? So we carry Chubb, we carry AIG. Those have it. Other companies we have don't. And so it really becomes incumbent to ask the right questions. Do we have it now? Yes or no? And if we don't, who do you have in your office that you can help us with?
All right. So Dan said the key word there. Dan, you provide Chubb insurance through yourself. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So let me just tell you, as a technology expert, there are two, and I'm going to go off a little script here. This is what I would recommend to all high net worth individuals, all regular individuals. There's two insurances that I like for cyber insurance, and I always recommend these to business. Chubb is number one, and Travelers is number two. And Travelers only with their new updated documentation for cybersecurity in their business area. But let me tell you this, forget all of those. If you have a question, Dan is local in the Seattle market, but you can work in another 38 states, or how many different states can you work in, Dan?
Right now, about 5.
About 5 states? Okay.
Wow.
But
that's quite a difference. 38.
Okay, well, I was shooting high. Okay, I was good. So 5 other states.
That's optimism.
So I haven't even been to 38 states yet. I'm working on that. I'm 29.
So the 5 states. The 5 states. Let's give us.
You need to get on that licensing.
That's
stuff.
right.
So
Okay.
I've got Alaska, Oregon, California, Washington, of course, and believe it or not, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
The Tar Heels. Maybe he's a Tar Heels fan.
That's an oddball one.
All right.
I actually had an opportunity there, so I quickly became licensed. Let's just say that.
All right, I got it. So give Dan Whedon a call to get coverage if your provider doesn't have coverage, right? This is something that everybody needs to get almost immediately, in my opinion, right now. If you're a personal homeowner and the costs are not as expensive as you may think.
What if I'm not a personal homeowner? What if
you renting? Are you renting?
Yeah. What if I'm
absolutely?
Just renting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, renters renters insurance is identical to homeowners insurance, with the big exception of we're not insuring a building on this. So a renter's insurance would have the same opportunities.
All right, Dan, how can I get a hold of you if I'm listening on the radio and I'm in Boston? I guess I'm in trouble unless I contact you and you get licensed there. But if I'm in local in the Pacific Northwest area, how would I get a hold of you?
Couple of ways. Phone is great. I actually do pick up the phone and answer text, 360-271-1592. Email is danw@firstunderwriters.com.
Okay. All right. Dan, thank you so much for being a part of TechTime Radio. I appreciate all that you do. Again, Dan Whedon is a guy that you can get personal insurance coverage from. Chubb's is by far the best to get for this type of insurance. At this point in your life, of anybody's age, whether you're 18 years old, whether you're 25 years old, whether you're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, go on out. It's inexpensive to get personal liability insurance. It's like renter's insurance costs, because nobody knows what it is now, and they're covering everything. So essentially, if you're going to have a compromise happen to yourself, everything will be covered. Get it now. Chubb is the only company that you should get it from, but Chubb is the best.
Are they paying you?
No, but they are by far the best to get from, and they are, again, the leaders in this. Go and get that taken care of. If your local insurance provider doesn't do that, then give Dan a call and have him provide it to you on the side. All right, we're going to head out on a commercial break. When we come on back, we got a segment that we're doing with Elon Musk, and essentially it is an expose of all of his projects he's working on.
TheForgivenPodcast.com. Prepare yourself for a forgiveness experience. The Forgiven Podcast retells Bible scandals in a more modern setting, focusing on forgiveness in a counsel culture. This series will touch on forgiveness by dramatizing some of the most scandalous stories in the Bible. Look at stories of David and Bathsheba, Joseph and his brother, Joseph and Potiphar's wife, and of course, Samson and Delilah, presented in a modern-day audio drama. Tune in to hear these stories, unlike you've ever heard them before. The season has already started, and it features 7 scripted episodes followed by bonus episodes, including readings, sermonettes, and gospel music. Listen 7 days a week for 7 weeks for a forgiveness experience. TheForgivenPodcast.com. Prepare yourself for a forgiveness experience. And remember, you too can be forgiven.
Your business deserves the same expertise as that of a Fortune 500 company. If you need a CIO-level service, why hire a full-time staff member at $250,000 a year when you can get this on-demand service for fractions of the cost? As your CIO on demand, we'll give you the steps you need to take so as to minimize interruption to your business and profitability, and provide you and your business with training and education to prevent future attacks. To get an efficiency review for your business today, contact us at www.ee-services.com.
Welcome back to TechTime Radio.
I was chilling out there. I almost forgot what we were doing.
That's it. We got a radio show. All right. Welcome. I'm Nathan Mumm. We got Mike Roday here. We got David Brown behind the board. So we are going to go into our next segment of talking about an individual that's going to be on Saturday Night Live. Also very, very outspoken individual that talks about Dogecoin or Dog O coin.
What is it? Dogecoin?
Dogecoin, yeah. So it's essentially it's fake.
Isn't it a fake?
It's a bad cryptocurrency. It's essentially a cryptocurrency to trade memes. So when you trade memes back and forth, you could then
So this
have
is just an example of celebrities all
pump and dumps. The pump and dumps. Yeah, it's a little bit. He may be talking about it. They probably are going to make fun of him a little bit about that on Saturday night. But let's go to our audio here to start out the segment.
Hi, I'm Elon Musk, and I'm hosting SNL This Week with musical guest Miley Cyrus.
What's new with you, Elon?
I just did a successful rocket launch this week.
Wow. Well, I did my laundry.
Congrats.
Actually, no, I didn't.
Thanks, Miley.
That's all right. So that's Elon Musk who's going to be joining. Now let's talk a little bit about Elon Musk. So let's talk how he started out stuff. So do you realize, essentially, he ran a nightclub out of his frat house. He wrote a computer program at age 12, sold it to PC Magazine for $500.
Mm-hmm.
A major component of sales that he specializes on is earned media. Tesla has never spent a single dime on paid advertisements.
Really?
You know that?
He's a party nerd.
None of the products he has ever sold has he ever paid for any marketing or dollars other than public appearances and talking about the items themselves.
Wow.
So
I need to talk to that guy.
So he was on Joe Rogan's Blunt podcast talking about what makes him successful, and what makes him successful is that when anybody tells him no, he gets motivated to say yes, and so that's a big deal.
Ego.
That's a big deal for me too. When people tell me no, I'm like, really? We're going to see what takes care of it. So let's talk a little bit about the his cryptocurrency that he's going to be talking about. I'm sure on the show tonight. It has jumped almost 500%. Again, if you play cryptocurrency,
this is not just because of him.
Well, he talks about it a lot, and he's a big proponent of it. Again, cryptocurrency, people, caution, beware. We've talked about it. A lot of this stuff is fake. Just because something goes on up and somebody makes a couple $1 million all of a sudden in the press, be careful.
Artificial value.
So let's talk about two things that people may not know. So he has a huge complex in South Texas, U.S. border. Essentially, it is the Mars shipyard where he's building the staging area for Spaceship X trips to Mars.
Yeah.
This is all about.
This is why I like Elon.
Okay, so his objective is to have and so he's got a little bit. He's put $2.9 billion into a Starship Land American astronaut program, which is being long-term positioned with NASA. So he's working directly with NASA, helping probably fund NASA to be completely
days
of what he's got going on. And essentially the idea is that in the next 10 years, so he's not doing it immediately, next 10 years, he's expecting to have basic colonization in Mars.
See, this is what makes me excited about this stuff, because, how awesome would it be to colonize Mars in your lifetime?
So we may actually.
I would do that. So
Elon
forget the Blue Origin thing.
Yeah,
I would colonize.
So
Mars.
Elon also said that he's more than willing to be one of the first people to go up there and be a passenger in the type of deal, instead of having like Bezos, who hasn't taken any of these trips himself. He has other people doing it.
Why would he?
Elon says, I'll actually go there. If we're going to go to Mars, I'm going to be the first passenger in there, and you can all come with me, and I am more than willing to do that. Now, interesting, during the same time that he has this, he also has a company called Starlink. Have you heard of Starlink? It's a satellite internet service. He's got 60-plus satellites orbiting Earth now.
I bet you didn't know that.
So people probably don't know that.
I didn't know that.
So, and essentially, specifically in rural areas.
I know him for Tesla and SpaceX. That's all I know.
So Starlink is a huge new startup. They're trying to take over the satellite market. So if you're in the middle, let's think you have a tiny house, right? You're in the middle of no man's land. You could essentially sign up for a Starlink subscriber policies right now, and they actually have test units that are going on now.
Oh, cool.
Up to 100 megabits.
Awesome.
So from the satellite, you can get 100 megabits. So it's really interesting. That's
my dream.
The internet beam that they have there, people have been testing it, and essentially one individual, which is really interesting, decided to actually go to do a torrent on the Starlink process itself.
Meaning what?
So they went to Pirate Bay, which is this illegal site. And what's interesting is they were notified from Elon Musk's company that they probably shouldn't be taking their
internet. They gave them a little slap on the wrist,
Yeah, shouldn't be going up to the space shuttle to get internet to be downloading illegal software. What was very interesting, though, instead of just slapping his hand and disconnecting him, they suggested that he should subscribe to a VPN service so they wouldn't know what's going on, specifically with a little smile.
They're helping him out.
That's
they gave him a winky emoji.
So, Elon Musk's on the show. What are you going to know about him? He has a company called Starlink, satellite provider, and you're going to know that he is making a plan in the next 10 years to visit Mars and colonize it.
And he does Tesla.
That's right. This is a great second hour here. So we had lots of things to take care of. You know what? Next week's show, we got packed 2 guests that are scheduled back-to-back in the first hour and second hour. My name is Nathan Mumm.
There's the hands.
That's
the
right.
hand signals are coming out.
We got Mike Gurday here. We got David Brown behind the bar. Thank you very much for joining us for 2 hours of TechTime Radio.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment in technology today. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service from Apple to Google and everything in between. And also signing up on our YouTube page, where you get to see us live in video. Yep, you can see us chat and have some fun. It's youtube.com/TechTimeRadio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.